Troop 180, and remain standing for the invocation and the singing of the national anthem by the Ludlow High School Choir under the direction of Mr. Dan Henry.
Good morning. Let us pray. In the name of the one who created us all, today we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve our grateful nation. We pray that you will watch over these special patriots and bless them with peace and happiness. We ask that our armed forces serving abroad return safely to their loved ones and are appreciated for their service. We give thanks to the selfless warriors who have dedicated their lives protecting our freedom. We ask all wounds are met with solace and healing, and we thank our American heroes today and every day for their sacrifices and honor them with patriotism now and forevermore. Amen.
Present arms!
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, arms! Honor guard, post the colors. You may be seated. Please join me in a round of applause to the Ludlow High School Choir under the direction of Mr. Henry. Good morning and welcome to the 2021 Ludlow Veterans Day ceremony. My name is Eric Segundo. I'm the Director of Veteran Services here in Ludlow and your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. I would like to introduce a few of our distinguished guests with us today. 7th Hampden District State Representative Jacob Oliveira. Chairman of the Board of Selectmen from the town of Ludlow, William Rosenblum. Also have Selectman James Jeanette. I have also Selectman Manny Silva. We have the Rick Askew, Post Commander of VFW 3236. Ryan Howe, Commander of the American Legion, Post 52. And Ludlow VFW Auxiliary Post 3236, the newly elected President, Melanie Segundo. Also want to recognize our American Legion Sons Detachment State Commander here with us today, Gene Thurl. And all our honored guests, our recipients, and our veterans. I want to begin today by expressing my gratitude to everyone for joining us. Going all the way back from the American Revolution, for everyone who served, there was no question about what they were fighting for. It was for their home, their businesses, their farms, their villages, towns or cities. It was for freedom. That freedom has transcended generations, not because it has been guaranteed or has come easy, but because over the years, selfless Americans have continued to stand up, raise their right hand, and commit to ensuring liberty for all. Today, we celebrate the millions of veterans who have ensured our freedoms since America's humble beginnings. We celebrate their determination, their dedication, and unwavering patriotism. Through war and in peace, American veterans have remained committed to ensuring our great country remains the land of the free, and it's surely the home of the brave. Throughout our history, time and again, our veterans have answered the call to serve with resolve and resilience, and we have reaped the many benefits of their selflessness. For many in our country, today is just another day. They may be home, they may be at work, or running errands or doing other things, oblivious to this occasion. But for those of us here today, we know the importance of this day. The importance of honoring the sacrifices of our relatively few who have afforded each and every American the opportunity to live free of tyrants and fear. While we can never repay fully the debt of gratitude we owe this special group of individuals, we start by celebrating them today. We teach our children of their sacrifices. We encourage others to show their support and appreciation at every turn. We work to honor our veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but every single day. Every American, each of you here today, has a role to play in carrying forward the legacy of our freedom. That's one reason why it is so important to continue to reach out and support our newest generations of veterans. Those who have returned from the front lines in Afghanistan, to those who have served in the wars of Iraq and Afghanistan and have done their duty. To them, you have done your duty to your family, to your communities, to your fallen comrades, and to your country. You have honorably served your nation with great distinction, and we can never say it enough. For your service, thank you. Your service was not for nothing. You all ensured since September 11th, our country wasn't attacked. It was your service that protected us. It has grown apparent with the passing of the last 2 decades that tyrants and cowards and bullies of the world misjudged the United States of America. They made that fatal mistake in assessing our strengths, our strength of purpose, and our national resolve. We can never repay the debt we owe to our nation's heroes, but it remains our duty to try, and we should start today. I hope today serves to motivate us all with a renewed sense of patriotism, purpose, and pride. for America is truly the best country on earth as a direct result of those who served in it. If you have served our country in the armed forces, please stand now to be recognized. Thank you to my brothers and sisters in arms. Thank you for your service, and happy Veterans Day to each of you. It is now my pleasure to introduce William Rosenblum, Chairman of the Ludlow Board of Selectmen, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Eric. And it's good to see that the font on your paper is a little bit larger than mine. As with age, the glasses need to come out more. Good morning and welcome. I want to thank all of our distinguished guests. And most of all, I want to thank Eric Segundo for all the hard work he does for our veterans in our town and beyond. So a round of applause. First, I would like to say I consider this a tremendous honor on behalf of our Board of Selectmen to be speaking before you today. When I was thinking about what to say, I actually didn't really think that I deserved to be up here because of the people that are in front of me. I haven't made the sacrifice of family, country, and God as our veterans have. A little bit of a background on me. My father's side of the family grew up in the North Adams, Pittsfield area. And his family became great friends with the family of one of Massachusetts' great statesmen, Silvio Conti. Silvio Conti was a 16-term U.S. representative from Massachusetts, and I had the opportunity to meet him several times. And I always aspired to be a pilot. I wanted to fly planes off the decks of carriers. Obviously, I didn't do that. But Mr. Conti introduced me to Senator Ed Kennedy, and both said when the time came, if I had the grades, they would sign for my appointment to any of the military academies that I choose. When the time came when I was looking at schools, and at the time I was into athletics a lot, and that was a direction I was looking at, I decided I wouldn't accept the offer from Representative Conti and Senator Kennedy because I believe I couldn't handle the discipline. There isn't a day that goes by that I think about this, because whenever a plane, and luckily enough we're right next to Westover, goes overhead, it really gets the adrenaline pumping. Our veterans understand discipline and sacrifice. I didn't years ago, but now I do. The respect I hold, and we should all hold, regardless of political or ideological beliefs, is the utmost. 2 months ago to the day, probably almost to the minute, we were all at the September 11th memorial, remembering the horrific acts of 20 years ago. Approximately 20 years ago, we engaged in the conflict and eventual war in Afghanistan. The goal to topple the Taliban military and rebuild core institutions of the Afghan state. Many believed it was time to end this war, but also watched in disbelief and with anger as seemingly overnight the country fell. There are many views by citizens and veterans alike on how this war could have been handled differently. But I'm here to say to you, your efforts were not in vain. For 20 years, the lack of Al-Qaeda attacks goes to show your efforts were valiant and effective. Our veterans create and change the course of history. And history shows that we fail in supporting our veterans when they come home. If anyone hears this today outside of this auditorium's walls, please take the time to ask a veteran about their service. Fly the flag and fly it properly, and spend time with a veteran. If I can impart one thing to a veteran, it's this: don't ever question your decision to defend and represent your country. Because there are millions of other people who decided, like me, they couldn't handle or be up to the task. This nation will remain the home of the free, only so long as it is the home of the brave. You have honorably served your nation with great distinction. The town of Ludlow can never say it enough, but thank you and God bless. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenblum. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you State Representative Jacob Olivera.
Thank you, Eric. As Selectman Rosenblum said, Eric, you do a phenomenal job representing this community at the state level, but also putting on services like this for our veterans. Few communities do this ceremony better than the town of Ludlow, due in part by your efforts, your dedication, and your service to your community. So thank you, Eric, for everything that you do to make this happen. Though this ceremony is kind of the culmination of work that we do within the community to support veterans, here in Ludlow we do an incredible job of honoring our veterans each and every day. But we also do a great job at this ceremony of recognizing those that support our veterans, our local businesses, our organizations, our volunteers, our teachers, our students, and we feature them with this culmination of activities here today. On this day, 100 years ago, the remains of an American soldier were buried at Arlington National Cemetery. His identity was not known, and has since become known, and many of you have probably visited, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. While on Memorial Day, we recognize those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, today we pay attention to the men and women, all of whom who have sacrificed themselves for their country, their community, and their Commonwealth. Today, we not only remember those that were lost in war, but we also remember all of those that were served. I know that Eric asked all the veterans to stand today and be recognized. I have to ask the audience right now, out of those veterans, are there any World War II veterans here today? Look around the room, folks. This is probably the first time in 75 years of having this ceremony that there isn't a World War II veteran present. Take stock of it, remember it. They were called the greatest generation. And it can be summed up by a quote that I heard a few years ago in a recollection of a conversation that Major Richard Winters, who came to fame and served, or his service was detailed in the Stephen Ambrose book, Band of Brothers, and also later recognized in the HBO miniseries of the same name. He recalled the conversation with his grandson. "Grandpa, were you a hero in the war?" Grandpa said, "No, but I served in a company of heroes." That line embodies what that generation did for our country to save ourselves and to save the world from the tyranny of fascism and oppression. Let us take a moment to recognize those World War II veterans who are getting fewer and fewer in numbers each and every day for their sacrifice and their service to our nation and to our world. Today here in Ludlow, we pay special tribute to those post-9/11 veterans. Like those of the greatest generation who saw our nation attacked at Pearl Harbor, this generation of servicemen and women saw the horrors of 20 years ago on September 11th and volunteered to make our world and our country a safer place to live. We here in Western Massachusetts will be honoring those post-9/11 veterans by the establishment of a post-9/11 memorial park in the city of Chicopee near Westover Air Force Base. That memorial is something that is a commitment of veteran service officers like Eric, our Commonwealth, and our community to recognize all the sacrifices that have been made in the last 20 years of those veterans. It has been a difficult 20 months for our entire world, but it has been particularly difficult for our veterans, especially those here in Western Massachusetts. We lost over 70 veterans at the Holyoke Soldiers Home over the last 20 months through neglect and negligence, and that is something that we need to correct. But it's also not just about housing our veterans, but also providing those wraparound services that are essential for our veterans and their families. Healthcare, mental health, family supports, housing, food insecurity, and addiction treatment are all things that we should be providing to our veterans to ensure we recognize their service to our country, our Commonwealth, and our community. In closing today, I want to thank all of you for being here, but especially those veterans. And for those of us who aren't veterans, make sure if you see a serviceman or woman, you thank them for their service, for they sacrificed for our nation, our community, and our Commonwealth. Thank you.
And I'm collecting pens up here, so thank you, Representative. Before we go into the awards, we also want to recognize our family members, because it is you that stand by our side when we deploy and take care of the home front while we're gone. So if you're a family member of a veteran, either stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you. All right, we're going to go right into our awards ceremony. Again, every year, the VFW and the American Legion recognizes businesses, community partners, organizations that support our mission to take care of our veterans every day. And it is these organizations and businesses who step up to do this. And this is our opportunity to say thank you to them. So at this time, the first award recognition is for the Business of the Year. The Sergeant Joshua DeForge VFW Post 3236 annually recognizes an outstanding Business of the Year who exemplifies great community service to its veterans and their families. This year's recipient is Vanish Valley Brewing Company. Recently, Vanish Valley hosted a free Veterans Appreciation Pig Roast for lunch for the veterans and their family members in the community. A very well-attended event with over 300 in attendance. Additionally, they created a special brew called Thank You for Your Service, and the proceeds from the sale of that was donated and will be donated to the VFW so that the VFW can continue their programs and services that benefit the veterans here in our community. It is with great honor and pleasure to present Vanish Valley Brewing Company with the 2021 VFW Business of the Year Award. Is Vanish here? Yep, there, come on up. And for those here in attendance, if you're interested in purchasing that Thank You for Your Service, they still have them on sale now through the end of the week. The next award is presented to the Outstanding Community Supporter of the Support of the Year Award, and is presented to a business who has significantly contributed to their community through their actions, talents, and dedication. This year's recipient is Valley's Classic Hits 97.7, 1250 AM radio station, and owner Bruce Marshall. 97.7 has assisted in numerous veterans events, to including securing donations of over 230 turkeys to go to veterans' families from across Western Mass for the 4th year in a row. Even during the pandemic, Bruce has ensured veterans were not going without a Thanksgiving meal. He was able to get sponsors and over 100 turkeys last year during the pandemic. And this year, he has turned that 100 into 200. Additionally, his station has incorporated a veterans segment, which airs monthly, which allows to provide needed information and services to veterans and their families in the listening area. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's VFW Outstanding Community Partner Award is presented to Bruce Marshall and the Valley's Classic Hits 97.7.
Rock and roll is here to stay.
At this time, we want to recognize the American Legion Business of the Year Award. And the recipient of this award this year will be a two-time recipient from both organizations because they do so much for our veterans. This year's recipient of the American Legion Post 52 Business of the Year Award is Villa Rose Restaurant, Tony Terrell. Over the past year during the pandemic, the Villa Rose was always there for its American Legion and other organizations in town by allowing us to use their dining halls for meetings and fundraisers and also giving back to the community. This is the reason Villa Rose has been selected as the American Legion Business of the Year recipient.
Thank you guys, thank you to American Legion for the honor, and thank you to Jake for the award and Bill Rosenbaum from the Selectmen, but a special thanks to all of you that are veterans here. A special thanks to every single one that is fighting for our country, like Eric was saying. I always say the veterans have a special thing in my heart. So I decided 2 days ago, I said we need to do something on Veterans Day. So if you're on Facebook, you probably saw it. If you're not on Facebook, you probably didn't. So for today, from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, anybody that's a veteran, we are going to give them a chicken parm dinner. So anybody that it is, stop by the Villa Rose, it's a dine-in, stop in and we're giving you a chicken parm dinner. I say thank you to all the veterans that are always here for our country. Thank you.
Thank you. The next recognition is being given to the Organization of the Year. The Organization of the Year is presented to a community partner that has contributed to improving the quality of life of our veterans in our community. The Ludlow Lodge of Elks has exemplifying community engagement activities which directly contributed to the betterment of the lives of our residents. veterans and their families. They take great pride in their community involvement. Most especially this past year during the pandemic, the Ludlow Lodge of Elks continued to help in any way they could. They provided their facilities to hold the first veteran COVID vaccine clinic. Through their charitable donations and grants, they have donated to the Ron Stevenson Memorial Fund, which helps veterans in need. They have also assisted Homeward Vets and the homeless veterans through their partnership with Homeward Vets. They have purchased brand new mattresses and box springs that go to veterans who are getting their homes for the first time. These are the reasons why Ludlow Lodge of Elks is being awarded the Organization of the Year Award. Their commitment to the community is in keeping with the aims and ideals of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's VFW Organization of the Year is awarded to the Ludlow Lodge of Elks. The next awards we're going to present are the Volunteers of the Year Awards. The first volunteer I want to recognize is Janine Boyer. You can find Janine at Island Pond Cemetery, cleaning the landscape, weed picking, you name it. What started out for her love for her loved one's grave has guided her to do continuously around the entire cemetery. Ladies and gentlemen, Janine Boyer for Veteran of the Year, Volunteer of the Year Award.
I owe this honor to my husband, Staff Sergeant Ralph Boyer. He was a soldier in the Korean War. Well, last May, I went to the cemetery to see his headstone. And right next to his headstone is a circle of flowers. And I said, oh, that needs tending to. So, I went to see the cemetery workers, and they said, we need volunteers. So I was happy to tend the flowers. I tended the coat of honor for the flags, and Mr. Sawyer saw me there, and he said hi, and he thanked me for tending the area. So it was my pleasure. Good exercise, good fresh air, and I thank you all.
Volunteers of the Year, again, thank you. The VFW Volunteer of the Year Awards recognizes individuals who have volunteered their time and commitment to our veterans and their families. The purpose of these awards is to honor a veteran, a volunteer, I'm going to get this right before the day's over, whose dedicated service has a significant impact on our organization and the community at large. This past year, the town of Ludlow embarked on a mission to clean and repair our gravestones and monuments at our cemeteries, and to restore them to the best that we can to its original glory. We have held annual community service days where groups came out and helped, and we want to thank all those groups that participated. The Rotary Club, the Scouts, you name it, they were there on the day of giving back, which was September 11th. But the following volunteers that we're recognized today have been there week after week throughout the pandemic, rain or shine, scrubbing away, doing over 100 hours of community service. If you go by Center Street today, although it's not completed yet, you will see the pearly white stones as you drive by. This is from the hard work of our volunteers who we want to recognize today. But before I call them all up, I would like to recognize the first two individuals who spearheaded this mission, Steve Sawyer and Jean Thoreau. I call Gene the godfather of this mission. Just like he does across all of Western Mass, he has provided us with invaluable instruction, knowledge, and guidance. And he's also spent many of his hours and days with us, and he's not a Ludlow resident.
Well, first and foremost, I really enjoyed all those wonderful words from our distinguished VIPs over there. But when Eric called me to ask me if I could help him, how could I say no to someone that's done so much across not just Ludlow, but for our community and across the nation? Without a doubt, he is one of the heroes that I admire and respect. Thank you, Eric, for all you do. It's a distinct pleasure. On behalf of the 5,600 members of the Sons of the American Legion, who honor those who serve and are proud possessors of our priceless heritage, it's indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here today.
And then I'm going to ask Gene and Steve to stay up on stage so we can bring up the other volunteers. When I call your name, come forward. Dorothy C. Sawyer. Hope L. Kudak. Judith Hebert. Francine Cooley. John Cooley. And Manny Vital. Once again, a round of applause to our volunteers. is what Lolo's about right here up on the stage.
Before I leave the stage, I want you to know we're missing 2 volunteers that should be here. Mr. Eric Segundo and Selectman DeVarge. They put as much time as we do. Thank you.
The next awards we're going to recognize is the American Legion Children and Youth Awards. The Children and Youth have many different, the American Legion have many different youth programs, and Post 52 that I have been involved with for many years is the American Legion Baseball. Students can play with the Legion Baseball from ages 13 to 19, and it takes place during the summer. The American Legion Post 52 would like to recognize those players who have played for the team and willing to give up part of their summer to play. This year, we aren't just recognizing the players from the final year of 2021, but also those from 2020 who were not able to be recognized due to the pandemic. Currently, there are 6 players to be recognized, and at this time, when I call your names, please come forward. Michael Young. Ryan Dalton. Lucas Torres. Nick Wilton. Andrew Santos. Connor Conner. Can I get a photographer up front? Our next award is the Citizen Education Award, a recognition that is often overlooked. Each year, an exceptional teacher is recognized by the VFW for their outstanding commitment to teaching Americanism and patriotism to their students. The VFW annually recognizes nationally the top classroom teacher with a Smart Mirror VFW National Citizen Education Teacher Award. And at this time, I'll read the nomination. Dear Mr. Segundo and Mr. Askew, I am writing to nominate Caitlin Clemens for the VFW Teacher of the Year Award. In her role as a focused student support teacher at Bear Middle School, Ms. Clemens consistently overcomes challenges that general education teachers rarely encounter. Ms. Clemens has earned the respect of her supervisors, colleagues, students, and families through her tireless commitment every day to her high-need students in her substantially separated classroom. Ms. Clemens insists on holding her students to a higher standard, consistently resulting in impressive growth for her students. Her mastery and application of a wide variety of strategies and resources meets the needs of her students and achieves extraordinary results. Ms. Clemens is determined to do whatever it takes to ensure her students achieve growth as productive members of society as she routinely succeeds. Her students learn to take responsibility to their own learning and actions as she instills in them the characteristics vital to being an honorable citizen of the United States. Additionally, Ms. Clemens builds a sense of community and camaraderie in her classroom in which all students are equally valued as they work together in a unique way to demonstrate the mastery of her curriculum. Ms. Clemens' dedication to her students means she is one of the first to arrive every morning and one of the last to leave every afternoon, exemplifying the best of American work ethics. Each year, Ms. Clemens supports families in meeting students' various academic needs, and her efforts make a significant difference in the lives of her students, their families, and the community. Dwight Eisenhower said, "Pessimism never won any battles." Ms. Clemens' positive mindset and commitment as an educator is truly inspiring. Therefore, it is my sincere hope you would consider granting her the 2021 VFW Teacher of the Year Award. And she was nominated by Michelle Diamore of Bear Middle School. Mrs. Clemens is also being presented for a check of $150 for her to use for herself and not in the classroom.
Thank you. It is such an honor. I really appreciate it.
We're moving on into our Patriot Pen Awards. The VFW believes strongly in good citizen and fostering patriotism. That is why we encourage youthful minds to examine our nation's history and their own experiences in modern American society through our Patriot Pen Youth Essay Writing Contest. Annually, more than 100,000 students from grades 6 through 8 nationwide enter. Our first place winner from each state competes to win one of 46 national awards totaling $46,000. The national first place winner wins $5,000 and an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C. in March. Last year's state winner is right here from Bear Middle School, Kathleen Alsemo. And she's also here because she's a finalist again. This year, the VFW received a total of 250 essays. Let me tell you something, I'm ready to go to bed tonight. I don't want to read any more essays. From the students here at Baird, and we want to congratulate all of them, and we want to award all of them, but we can't. And we want to recognize them for taking part in this program. So this year, we were able to select the top 10 recipients to be presented with a certificate and a monetary award. And parents, there is cash, it's not a check, so make sure that envelope don't get lost. And at this time, what I want to do is I want to call up the top, those that place between 6 and 10 in no particular order to come forward. When I call your name, come forward. And then remain on stage. Victoria A. Davison. Colin McClintock. Catherine Alsamo. Faith E. Kurok. So I kind of made like a cheat how to pronounce these names, and I can't even read my own handwriting. Emma M. Henning. Emma Henning, is she here? No? Okay. Put on the side. All right. What I'm going to ask for those students just to step over to the side, but don't leave the stage because we wanted a group picture with all the awardees. Again, 250 entries from the school, and this is your top 10. So no matter what position you end up in, you should be honored. We are honored that you've made it this far. Coming in 5th place, Benjamin Goodrow. Fourth place, Natalia Houlihan. Third place, Mason Little. Second place, Sophia Arar. And in first place, Chloe Laseca. And for the record, it's Liska. Now, Chloe will move forward to compete at the district level, which consists of all 3 Hampden, Franklin, and the Berkshire counties. And then if she gets past that, she'll compete at the state level. A round of applause for all of you. And normally the Patriot Pen winner does not read their essays just because they're really shy at their age. But for those Voice of Democracy winners that are here today, your speech is in this book and you will be reading it, so prepare yourself. The Voice of Democracy, each year nearly 40,000 high school students from across the country enter to win a share of $2.2 million in educational scholarships and incentives awarded through the VFW Voice of Democracy audio essay competition. The VFW established the Voice of Democracy program, the VOD, in 1947 to provide students, grades 9 through 12, the opportunity to express themselves in regards to democratic ideas and principles. The national first place winner receives a $30,000 scholarship paid directly to the recipient's American University, college, or vocational technical school. Other national scholarships range from $1,000 to $16,000, and the first place winner from each state, VFW departments, win an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C., and the VFW state winner from Massachusetts receives $3,500. As I read the winners' names, I ask the students to come up on stage and remain on stage until all the awards are presented. They will be presented with a citation and a monetary award, and as well, these are all cash prizes. Coming in third place, Fiona Elliott. Fiona will receive a citation and $150. I've been practicing this one. Second place, Inokama Ignazio. Did I say that right? I do apologize on the names. I try. She's being presented with a citation and $175. And our first place winner is Aaron J. Picard. Aaron is going to be presented with a citation as well as a check or cash in the amount of $250. Aaron will advance to the district level competition where his essay will compete with students from across Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin counties. Once again, a round of applause to the three winners. Thank you. Aaron, you ready?
All right. Democracy was bred upon the idea that the rights of the individual will be protected. In the year 1787, our fourth president, James Madison, wrote about the dangers of factions. Whether or not one is in accordance with his opinions is negligible, but there is one thing that can be agreed upon by all. Factions can pose a danger to democracy. Factions in and of themselves are not dangerous, they are good for democracy in fact. However, the hate that they cause is dangerous. People in their own groups fight for the rights that will benefit them, but at the expense of the rights of others. In terms, this goes directly against the protection of everybody's natural rights. Instead of working together with the common goal of a better future in mind, our country is split down the middle, both sides spewing words of hate like the venom of a snake. Venom that burns deep and runs through the cracks put in this country from years of discourse, just widening them and creating an even greater divide. The chasm between beliefs in this country is something that needs to be mended. People are constantly fighting for the best lives for themselves, and they do not look out for the people in worse positions. The nation's citizens need to advocate for those with no advocacy already. Those whose voices go unheard, those who are not taken seriously. Just as a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, a country cannot flourish without each group, each minority, each person standing tall together, hand in hand, fighting for one common goal: the preservation of the country our founding fathers wished for. So, how will this be done? I could stand here and I could talk about what is needed in the future. I could say something technical that has to do with what we should do, like that committee should be formed to ensure that the rights of all are being protected, but I will not. In all actuality, what we do in the future will have no effect on us now, when we need it the most. It needs to start with one simple concept: love for our country. Next time each citizen casts a ballot, it is imperative that they cast for the greater good of the country, not their version of the country, sheltered in their own world, but in the version of the country that everybody experiences. America is supposed to be the land of the free, no man left behind, so it's about time we start acting like it. It's about time that we put each person into the back of our minds when voting, each viewpoint, each struggle that we have the luck to not deal with in our own lives. So, what's next? We could continue on the track that we're on right now, a downward spiral of hate, deepening the divide in our country, or we could choose the latter. We could start by loving this nation as if our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it. The love we show today could deeply impact the country we live in tomorrow. So next time you're about to say something hateful because of a difference in opinion, just think. Think about what their life is like in relation to yours. Think about the struggles that they have that you do not. If everyone walks a mile in their counterpart's shoes, then true progress will ensue and the track of hate we live on can diminish. Thank you.
I should have read the title before he read, but the title is America, Where Do We Go From Here? Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate all the winners today. I do have one more award here from the VFW. Is Laurie Smith here and Boy Scout Troop 180? Come on up. Bring your troops up with you. Bring them up, all of them. Why not? I'll get these numbers right here. So this is Scouts 1774. And what we wanted to do is, let me tell you something. So the VFW is proud to partner with our Scouts. They are here. They participate in all of our events, flagging the graves, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, cleaning stones, Honor Guard today. They're at every of our fundraisers, helping to clear tables. You name it, when we need them, they're there. So the VFW wants to present a check to the group of $500 to do as they choose, just as a way to say thank you for your support to us.
Well, thank you very much. We definitely make an effort to be at every event that we can. Whenever Eric is always checking in to say if you have some scouts who can come and give a hand, and we always do. We always have a number at any event that we do. We make sure that we help out in the community, the veterans, any way we can. So thank you. We appreciate the opportunities. It's good for all of us. So thank you.
I hope as when you leave here today that each of us are motivated and inspired by the deeds and accomplishments of our patriots past and present. And I hope this motivation will help lead us into a brighter future, armed with a renewed sense of patriotism and purpose. We must remain committed to a stronger nation and to our veterans, for it is our veterans who have sacrificed and paid the highest price for all of us. Before we leave, I would like to call up Joe Pereira, who will do a rendition of God Bless America to let us all leave with the sense of patriotism in our hearts. But before he does that, I've got a note here, I should have read this here. Reefs across America here in Ludlow, again, everything that is being done for our veterans here are from volunteers. So we want to thank them. And as of this morning, they have achieved their goal of placing a wreath at every grave of every veteran buried here in Ludlow. 800, what's the number? 925, here it is. I should read the note, right? 925 veterans buried here in Ludlow will receive wreaths because of the efforts of our volunteers who have solicited and contributed and fundraised. Especially to those who have donated cans. The cans were cashed in, $1,700 in bottles. Carrie Joseph and Steve Sawyers all year long, bringing bottles and having them redeemed. So a round of applause to them. And that doesn't mean we don't stop, so we start already for next year, right? Just because we met our goal this year, we need to look at next year. So Heidi's there, raise your hand, Heidi. She's got forms. If you want to sponsor a wreath, we'll make sure that it'll go for next year. Can I have the closing prayer first?
Let us pray. As we depart this ceremony today, we celebrate our veterans and honor their service. We pray for all of our active duty and their families and ask they return safely from missions around the globe. Go in peace, knowing our Creator, our Redeemer, and our Sustainer loves you. And please remember to take time today to thank a veteran for their service. Amen.
Thank you, Eric, for asking me to do this. One last time, ladies and gentlemen, nice round of applause for our veterans. One last time, I'd like to ask you all, please place your right hand over your heart and join me. This is about all of us, not just me singing this song. We all know the first verse of God Bless America. The second verse, well, the first verse, help me out. Here we go. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean wide with all. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
This concludes our ceremony. If anyone wants to come up to take pictures, feel free. Thank you again, and we all see you hopefully for Memorial Day, back to pre-COVID activities. Thank you.